All right, staying with the MLB and going back to the Chicago White Sox, except this is not about Jose Abreu. It is about Tony La Russa. So the Chicago White Sox are letting the legal process play out on Tony La Russa's DUI case. So in case you guys don't know, Tony La Russa was charged with a DUI last month, a day before he was hired by the White Sox manager. According to the arrest affidavit, after blowing out a tire on Arizona highway, La Russa showed a blood alcohol level of 0.09 above the legal limit of zero point zero 0.08. La Russa has yet to comment publicly on the arrest. When reached Monday night, La Russa told ESPN, "I have nothing to say," and hung up the phone. This was La Russa's second arrest on a DUI charge. He received one during the spring training in 2007 while being the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, pleading to misdemeanor DUI in that incident. According to the White Sox, they said they were aware of the February arrest before hiring La Russa, who was close ties with team owner Jerry Reinsdorf. Reinsdorf has stated publicly many times that one of his regrets as an owner was firing La Russa the first time around, ending his tenure that ran from 1979 to 1986. The White Sox have shown no inclination to go back on their decision to hire him a second time despite the second DUI. All right, Nate. So tell me your thoughts on this.
Well, this is a big deal. I mean, this is definitely something, you know, it's gonna hurt his status as in terms of his job as a manager. With that said, you can't be doing these things, especially when you're a manager. You're supposed to be, especially as a manager, you're the head coach. However you people want to say it. You're supposed to be telling these players and these kids and all of that. You're not supposed to be doing these kind of things because you would expect the players to be doing these kind of things, and that usually is how it goes. It's a lot less common for coaches and executives and GMs and all of that to get caught with this kind of stuff. It's more the players. So in his case, drinking's a big deal. Being
Absolutely.
alcoholic is a big deal. That's a very bad um addiction, especially with addictions like smoking weed and that California kush and all of that. There's just so many more things that opioid crisis. That's another thing that's a big deal. People getting addicted to opioids and all of that. So addiction's a really big deal, and alcohol is just one of the worst ones in my opinion. Despite all the deadly drugs that are out there in this world, I think alcohol just reigns superior to most of those drugs. And I think he needs to get this checked out, especially given his, not just as his status as a head coach or a manager, however you want to say it, but as his status as a person. He's an old man. He's not young like you and I. He's actually in his 70s,
Right.
and that's if he wants to stay alive a little longer, which I'm very confident he will. That you can't be doing that 'cause that's gonna hurt your liver. It's gonna hurt you. You're gonna hurt your stomach. Something you don't want. It's something you don't want. And I think he really needs to get himself in check with the drinking because he needs to step up and be a leader to tell these players off the field, don't be doing this, don't be doing that. The drinking, with the weed, with the codeine and the lean and the acid. Help me out here. There's more, but whatever. Um, you get my point though. It's like he can't be doing that kind of stuff, and I think
Stu
he
mentions
really
every drug in the book.
but
All
but
right,
as
continue.
as a head coach and as a manager, you need to get yourself checked out for that because that's a big deal. You can't be doing that.
Right, and I'm gonna say this: it's irresponsible, it's immature, and honestly, I don't expect any We usually when it comes to this type of stuff, whether they had a past of it or not, we shouldn't expect this because now you're a professional. Like, you get what I'm saying? If you're
You've
a
been a
high school kid,
professional.
you're a college kid, I get it. But now you're a professional, you know?
Mm.
And as a professional, you got to realize that there are certain things that you just cannot do, you know?
And this is one
And
of them.
so, right. And so if he's going on DUIs, first of all, that might affect the team too. Because what if another player goes on a DUI? He has no
That's
room to talk. At that
that's
point, like, he
exactly
has no
what
room
I'm
to talk.
saying. With
It creates tension towards the players. And then not only that, if he continues to do it, Jerry Reinsdorf, who remind you, he was the I think he was like I can't remember I think he was the president of the Chicago Bulls back when Michael Jordan was there. I think he still is the president of Chicago Bulls, to be honest. But he but he's got to figure out what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like this, if I'm gonna be honest with you, Nate. If this continues, he is not gonna have a long tenure with the White Sox.
I agree, and I'm going back to what you said about having a long term effect of on not only himself but his players. That's exactly what I'm trying to get at because, like I said, this is something that you expect players to do. It's not very common for coaches and executives and, like I said, GMs and owners to be doing this kind of stuff. It's not common whatsoever. It's more common with the players.
Right.
So, and I know some people are gonna say it's gonna hurt you either way. You're absolutely right, but if you really think about it, if this was a player, it's not gonna hurt him as bad as you are as a manager or a head coach. You're the leader of this team. You got to tell these players to not do this, to not do that. You know what I mean? So like I think if this happens to a coach or a manager or like I said, any executive that works in the front office of a professional sports team, it hurts them more than it hurts the player because you're supposed to be helping these players. If that makes any sense, you're supposed to be
Right.
telling him to not do that, and he's doing it. And like you said, he's gonna do that. It's gonna affect the players in the process because they're gonna do it too. You
Right.
know?
And the other thing is like a lot of managers, they work on development and they work on improving players, correct?
Correct.
So like a player starts off like, as a rookie, but then you develop him to become more of a pro.
Right.
Well, let's go to Tony La Russa's development and improvement as a character. According to this, you went from 2000, this happened in 2007 as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you consistently did this because there's no other records besides 2007 and the one that recently just happened. But you do have to realize that even though you're rich, because you probably are rich, considering you're Tony La Russa, who's a World Series winner, and his other reports, I heard that he, according to TMZ, he flashed the officer his ring and said, "I'm a Hall of Famer," and like, but that don't matter. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's like you're not like the law is blind. You know what I'm
The thing
saying?
with
Like it
the
doesn't
law
matter.
is
So
that the
like.
thing with the law is this: you can flash your ring all you want. The thing is, that success happens on the field. Once you walk off that field, once you walk out of that locker room, once you walk out of that stadium, you're just another citizen. You have to follow the law.
Absolutely.
Just because you're a Hall of Famer, just because I just won the NBA championship, or I'm a World Series MVP, or I'm hoisting the Stanley Cup, I'm gonna drink beer out of it. Don't matter. You're outside of the arena. You're outside of the stadium. You're outside of the pitch. You're outside of the court, the rink, whatever. You're just another citizen. It don't matter. It don't matter about your fame status
Absolutely.
or your media status or whatever. Even though you're famous and you're a Hall of Famer, you're a citizen and you still got to abide by the law. It's
Absolutely.
that
And
simple.
we're going back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like I said, it doesn't matter, but again, your your character will be jeopardized. So then you're going to be known as a great manager, but again, you make one mistake and they're going to
And
know you for something completely other. And the
yeah,
thing is, you cannot as a coach, as a manager, I'm not saying you haven't developed. You could have went 2007 to 2020 without even having a sip of alcohol. But the fact that you got into this situation again in 2020, it's a problem.
yeah,
And I hope he gets better. We're not saying like I'm not gonna say anything bad. I hope he gets better. I hope he doesn't get into any more DUIs. I hope this alcohol problem, if you want to call it a problem, whatever it is, I hope he gets it fixed. But in order to build a great relationship with these new players and these young players too, you got a decent talent. You got a decent talent on you. You got Jose Abreu, you got Tim Anderson. You can help me out here. I know you know more. So like
there's Dallas Keuchel. There's
Dallas
the
Keuchel.
young pitcher. What the hell is his name? Lucas Giolito.
They got
Yasmani
they got
Grandal.
Grandal. Yep. So like
Reese
you have a really
Roberts. I
good
think he's on the.
right. You got a really good team here. So it's up to you to put this in your past. If I was him, I'd address it to the team. I'd be like, look, this is no excuse. Okay. I
I
don't want
agree.
any of you guys doing it, despite me doing it, just to prove a message that it is not tolerated. And
I
as
agree.
from there on, and as from here on out, he's got to, what I'm saying? He's got to improve. And
Yeah,
I wish him the best of luck because the White Sox have a great team on their hands.
I
They got
do.
a
Yeah,
they
I
got
do
a
too.
they got a good team that has the ability and the talent to be great. So with that being said, hope he gets everything in check. I hope Jerry Reinsdorf and the White Sox organization. I hope they take the precautions that they needed to make sure that La Russa doesn't do this again. And we'll see where the White Sox go on from here.
Yeah. I hope Tony La Russa gets better.
Absolutely.
And his job isn't in jeopardy. Let's just hope for the best.